Briana Aldridge joined by Clarence Hill here on a Wednesday from DLLS Cowboys. And it's a pretty calm Wednesday, if you will. Not too much excitement. First question of the day for Schottenheimer was about the injuries, and he really didn't have too much to say, but he normally doesn't on a Wednesday. I feel like we got to wait and see because I didn't really get too much out of that besides Turpin actually saying he wasn't going to be ready to go.
No, the good news, though, is that we watched practice, and Tyler Guyton is out of protocol and is back to practice. And he also said that you don't lose your starting job to injury. Now, you still have to earn it. So it looks like Guyton should be ready to go and back and start lineup at left tackle. Tyler Smith was also at practice. And I know I talked about the other day, they said they're going to try to practice this week. He could have gone last week. They were being cautious with him by keeping him out, but he was available for emergency situations. It looks like he can go this week. So those are good news. You saw CD and Tyler Booker working with the cords with Britt Brown, the team's athletic trainer. When on the cords, that means it's not going to be long. And they didn't have a lot of braces. You know, they really didn't have anything on their legs or ankles. So maybe next week, if not this week, for those two.
Now, with Tyler Guyton, of course, he's a first-round pick, but Nate Thomas has been, the guy they went to in Oxnard. They've liked what they've seen from him. But he also got some reps at right tackle. Do you think they're trying to just get him more reps, or do you think they're actually trying to work him in there for a solid position?
You know, the good thing about Shot, and I asked about that in the press conference, was he's holding guys accountable, okay? You know, he benched Trayvon Diggs, two games ago. He benched Kyrie Elam, this past game, and although he played, but he was not a starter. You know, they're trying to put the best guys on there. A couple of weeks ago, Tyler Thomas actually played for Terrence Steele, and then when Tyler Guyton got hurt, he went to left tackle. So they did reward him. Like Shotty said, I'm not trying to bench guys. I'm trying to reward guys for the efforts and the progress they're made. So if Nate Thomas continue to make progress, then we'll see if he gets rewarded by somebody else getting benched. Right now, I don't think it's going to be Tyler Guyton. Maybe it's, Terrence Steele. We'll see. Terrence Steele didn't play bad last week, but it's a good problem to have. I mean, again, the one thing that we cannot understate last week, and everybody said it was just the Jets. And there were times in the game that we had 9 starters, including 4 starting offensive linemen, and they did not miss a beat. Credit Dak Prescott, but I've been around here a long time when Dak Prescott was the quarterback and you missed 1 starter and it was a train wreck. They couldn't get anything done up front because of the blocking. And for them to be able to perform the way they perform, credit Nate Thomas, and what he's able to do. But credit the coaching staff, getting all those guys ready to perform in the offense, not really missing a beat with those backups in there. And, hey, if Nate Thomas earns a starting spot, it's because he earned it. And that's a good deal.
Yeah, all the injuries, and it's going to be interesting to see because the tape don't lie, right? Shamar James goes out there, and it felt like the defense with Sanborn out, it just looked a little different. Wanye's obviously getting those starting opportunities now. So there's a different look, and it's going to be interesting to see when those guys start to come back. But I will say defensively, they got to read off a lot of stats after the game that they haven't been able to read this year. Clarence?
Then I said it wasn't just the Jets. No, give them credit. Yes, 5 sacks and doing what they were able to do. It was the Jets, but they still have to do it. It still counts. Yeah. And you look at other games and who the Jets played, and nobody stoned them or played them the way the Cowboys did. So give them guys credit. It was, I want to say, it was the game, it was the team, it was the palate cleanser that the Cowboys defense needed, right? It was something to get that bad taste out of their mouth and to be able to get some confidence against the Jets and going forward because they're going to need that. They can build on some of that with how they played against the Jets for sure.
And then what do you think going on the road again? Obviously, Carolina, they got 2 wins. Cowboys got 2 wins. They beat the Falcons in Miami. There's some questions there on what Miami's doing as well, but they have the building blocks that they're trying to build with that group. Cowboys are trying, like you said, they kind of set a solid foundation with some hope. So what are you looking for this team? Like you said, taking the next step against what should be, on paper, a winnable game.
It's interesting because defensively, the Cowboys at the beginning of the season were giving up everything against the pass. And the last couple of weeks, they've been gashed on the ground. And the Jets gashed them on the ground. And now they get to go against Rico Dowdell, former Cowboys running back, who said they better buckle their chin straps up because they're coming. They know what they're going to get, and the Cowboys are ready and should be ready because Rico is out for revenge this week. So they have to stop the run. Certainly have to stop the run, Rico. Certainly we know they have a good quarterback with Bryce Young and the things they're trying to do. But this team right now, you got to be able to stop the run. But the thing that you can lean on, you like to be able to lean on, Dak Prescott. in this offense. Dak
I'm talking
Prescott's
about.
playing at the MVP level. Pickens says, can't nobody guard me. You can't. He's like Des Brown. You can't guard me. He's waiting for this opportunity. You got Ryan Flanoy stepping up. And again, we're not talking enough about Javonte Williams, who may be the best free agent signing in football.
And cheap and
That's
luxury.
why,
That's
hey,
just
listen,
luxury.
It's found money, man. You ever go to
Luxury.
the thrift store and find some Louis? You know, you ever get some Louis?
TJ Maxx?
Yeah.
The Michael Kors?
There you go.
That's what we got, Javonte. We'll talk more about the offense tomorrow because, like Clarence said, there's a lot to talk about there. So we touched on defense today, but that will do it for Clarence Hill, for Briana Aldridge.